How long are these podcasts usually?
We try and keep them down. If it was up to Jay, they would be 3 hours long.
I was going to say.
I'm trying to squeeze them to around the 40-minute mark.
There you go.
Yes, you like
I feel like
it.
Welcome to episode 53 of First Frames First.
My name, as the primary host of the show,
For fuck.
is Adrian Konstantin.
Adrian Kostatin.
Yeah, a drain. Yeah.
I'm Jason Green, the lesser host this time. Someone has to remember to press play on press record on
Oh,
the
that's
GoPro.
what the red light is.
Otherwise,
There we go.
you might be talking for 10 minutes and realize that there's
someone.
no show happening.
That someone whose duty it is to press the button didn't do it.
And what I like the best about a fuck up is doing it in front of a guest. So welcome to the show
second time.
for the second time, our very special union actor guest, Tony White, who we've known. I've known for a very long time. We can talk about that.
And we do want to talk about that.
We're gonna get into it.
We want to know your history.
and hopefully Tony will give us some ins and outs of being a union actor, how exciting that is, and maybe he'll give us a secret that will get him murdered
By the union.
Oh, boy.
The actor
Amazing.
union will
I'm
come
hoping,
and get
that's
it.
what I'm hoping for.
Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da.
All right, perfect. So we'll see. I don't know how to end the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just say,
we'll see you in a minute. More
Yeah.
like 15 seconds.
and then we should have some music that goes like...
We did mention to Tony earlier that we're professionals at this. Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go. You're a lefty.
I am.
Jimi Hendrix.
How did he?
Paul
How did he know
McCartney.
that? That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Who are we?
Nobody's.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We're Canadian filmmakers with the dream of surviving financially on the backs of our films.
Welcome to our show where we bring people along on our film journey.
Maybe we can learn a thing or two.
Maybe we can teach people a thing or two while drinking beers.
I mean, if you can't drink beers while filmmaking, what's the point?
We are Fable Forest Films, sailing our way to success.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, our show. First Frames First.
And now we'll start the primary segment of our show.
Fair enough.
So, Tony,
Welcome,
Yes.
Welcome, Mr. Tony White.
Yes,
to
a drain.
episode
Our
53. Adrain Constantin, that's right.
Tony, we've been doing this show for 2 years now.
I can tell.
Every second week.
I can tell.
And
It's
you could tell. You really
fantastically-
get a sense,
It is
that
the
our
most
setup-
professional thing I've ever been on.
right?
You guys are amazing.
He hasn't been on much.
If I had a hat, I would tip it to you.
Is that sarcasm?
No,
It's
not
the
at all.
best. It's the best podcast I've ever been a guest on. How many podcasts have you done?
One.
This is it.
This one. So, what are we doing here today, Jay? Why did Tony come around to this basement office?
Fair enough. Well, so here's the thing. Tony, every time that I've been involved with
Self-tapes.
with Tony White's self-tape, he's gotten a role in a film, a feature film.
That's
So
literally amazing.
That is, as Jason said earlier when it wasn't being taped, we are batting 1,000.
we're batting 1,000. So Tony is auditioning for something pretty great. We probably can't talk about it, right?
No, you can't talk
All
about
right,
it.
so that's fine. So, but we could probably talk about it
If you get it.
if you get
After
it,
the
right?
fact. Oh, I'll be here, baby, screaming.
We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be amazing.
So every time...
Next podcast when Tony's gone, we'll talk about it because we don't care. I'm just kidding. We totally won't.
Thank you.
So how many self-tapes have you done?
Well, it's just the one.
Okay.
But
Yeah, this is our second one.
let me tell you something. That's not
Okay.
important.
So,
Okay.
But we're
It's
one
not-
for one.
yeah, one for
When-
one.
And we're batting 1,000.
when I'm in the NBA and I shoot one basket and then I break my knee, I'm like the highest percentage of basketball shot hitters.
Totally.
Basketball shot hitters? That makes
Sure, well-
sense.
Shooters. Did you know there's a rule? I'm gonna just ask this question. There's a rule that once the ball is inside the cone above the net, you can't knock it out.
That's correct.
Yeah.
If you knock it out, it's called goaltending.
Yeah.
So you can't like
You can if it's above the rim, you can swipe it away. But once it's in, you can't like
scoop it,
Right.
or go up underneath.
No, you cannot.
Correct, you cannot.
Absolutely not.
But like once it's like started going through the rim,
Yep.
then it's in.
Yeah.
Ah,
In
you see.
in the NBA, what happens is there's shot blocking, but the only time you can block a shot
Yeah.
is if it's going up. If it's
Yeah.
actually on its way down and you block it, then that's called goaltending as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
And
see
I'm 5'4", so I'm the authority on the NBA.
Yeah.
Did you know that once the ball's in the air, even the clock can run out, and so long as the ball's in the air, the basket counts.
Yes,
The shot has
totally.
been
That's
made,
why
yeah.
the guys. I mean, I understood that because that's when the guys throw it from halfway across.
Yeah, exactly. The buzzer
court.
beaters, they call it.
Yeah.
All right, I thought I would have a
No, but
cool piece of trivia.
Every time I'm sitting watching a basketball game, and then somebody tells me a new rule, and I'm like, "What? That's a thing?"
Did you know that the NBA makes up every year?
Excuse me.
They make up 3 new rules and have to remove 1 rule.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is.
Oh, my word.
It is.
All right, Tony,
Yes.
please tell me where you met this clown.
Well, I mean,
Well, it was at Barnum & Bailey's 30th anniversary. He had really big shoes and a really big red nose. And that was before the circus. No, I met this clown 100 years ago. There
feels
was
like it.
an
Let me
odd-
just think. Let me think. Was it 2008?
I think
No,
it
it
was
was 2007.
It was before. Well, yeah, it was before 2019.
We shot in 2008.
We shot in 2008. So in 2003,
Did your shoot cause the worldwide economic collapse of all the money markets?
as a matter of fact, it did.
That's what I thought.
It did. It was actually Jason's fault. No, but he was holding auditions for a film, and I auditioned for it, and I auditioned for I think it was the 85-year-old lady with the hose and the high heels, and I auditioned for that. And what happened was he said I had not enough facial hair. So because I didn't have
What
enough
kind
facial
of
hair,
movie was this?
well, it was actually called Little Red Riding Hood. And the wolf, and so what? I can't. What was the name of the film?
So I'll tell you a great story about this is that the name of the film was originally Guinness, and it was a movie about two like loser buddies in college that are trying to break a world record, and we did actually just a side note, and I've talked about doing a whole podcast about this and showing what we have.
Yeah.
Tony will be interested to hear how much we have of this thing.
Yeah.
But
What happened to that movie?
well, we can talk about it right now. But we actually reached out to Guinness Book of World Records and had a long conversation with them about naming our movie Guinness and having a movie about 2 dudes who were breaking world records or trying to break a world record. And they thought the movie was really funny, but they were like, there's way too much swearing and dick and fart jokes for them to get on board with it because do you know their target demographic?
It's got to be 12-year-old boys.
It's 12-year-old boys.
Yeah,
12-year-old boys.
That's when I loved Guinness.
Right?
Sure.
World Book of Records. I loved going through those books.
12-year-old
when I was about
boys
that age.
is the target demographic for Guinness Book of World Records. And so they were just like, we just can't get behind a kind of a potty humor sort of movie.
But adult, yeah.
Right? So what I would like to do is, we're going to get back to all of this stuff, but I don't want this website to like time out. So we're going to take a second. We're actually,
We're doing things. You're going to do that. You talk
talk
about
about
what we're doing.
So,
Do you want me to get out of the way so they can see?
No.
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 We're uploading a file, everyone. It's very exciting. So we'll jump back to the Guinness story in a second. But Tony, you're auditioning for a feature film.
A feature film
Can you say where?
being shot in Montreal.
Shot in Montreal.
Yep.
And
Can't say who's in it or anything like
that's fine.
that because
That's
I mean
totally
the thing is I don't even have the role. That's
of
why
course.
we're here.
yeah, totally. So
uploading an audition
he came over, and so quickly we just shot, a slate. You just want to tell people?
Slate.
What do you generally do when you're sending out an audition tape?
This is a good piece of information.
Yes.
So actually, before we get into that, let's
No.
wrap up how we met,
Okay.
just quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Because I would love to hear about this. So so Guinness, we had this discussion. They were like, no. So we changed the title of the movie to World's Greatest. And we did put out a casting call, kind of similar to how we did it for our last few movies. And I don't know what made you apply specifically to this role, though. But we did have a role for a character named Samantha. And she was the love interest of the story.
And I wanted to be Samantha.
He did. Yeah. He did. And so he came in and was like, well, what if I played this role as a gay man? And we were like, I don't know. We really did not think of it that way.
Yeah.
And so he came in and read the role of who was supposed to be like a 30-year-old kind of cute Asian girl.
Yeah, I was typecast, actually.
Totally. And Tony's audition was so good with the scene that we had. We were like, we really struggled because we didn't actually have a role in the movie for Tony. Not really.
If you didn't change the gender of
yeah, we originally were thinking. I think you came in because we thought you were gonna play like a dad or somebody that had a small role, and he was so good that we were like, I think we're going to rewrite this entire character as a slightly older gay man instead, and I don't even think we ever changed a line. If we changed a line, it was only like from she to he. But everything else we kept exactly the same. And our lead character, I can't remember, James maybe? Our lead character played, instead of getting to have a romance with a 30-year-old cute Asian girl, had a romance with Tony. And it was awesome. It was great. Anyway, so that's how we met.
Yeah, I was a coffee shop owner.
Coffee shop owner, yeah.
And I think I have seen you. Have we ever met before this?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I really don't think so. But you may have seen me on television, though.
Well, I think I've seen you in some of the pieces of the movie.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Jay has shown me a couple pieces.
Okay. I'd like to see a couple of pieces, too.
If we're good, let's hit it.
It's done.
Let's submit it.
Oh, submit.
I'm helping you. I'm producing.
It's just close.
What?
It just says close.
Okay.
Yeah. Should be good.
So I think it's just I think your files are just in your spot there. Maybe you can go check it later.
Sure.
Remember how you checked it earlier and it was like you still have X amount of time left?
That was because there was nothing on there. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll check it. I'll check it later. Sure.
Cool.
So we did the film.
Yes.
And we shot most of it, and that was it. So fast forwarding to today. Actually, no. So from there, in 2010, there was a movie. I think I alluded to it in the very beginning that I needed to do a self-tape. I'd never done a self-tape before. And the only person I knew that had a video camera and would have an idea of what they were doing was Mr. Green. So I called up Mr. Green.
That doesn't sound like me at all. I had a camera, but I did not know what I was doing.
Yeah. And I said, hey, I need to send something to a film company in New Brunswick called Cinegraph Productions. And so I sent it, and next thing you know, it was just an audition piece. I had to have a gun and shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Jason uploaded it or downloaded it or whatever the loading is. We sent it to them, and they sent back and said, we want it.
Smoke.
Yeah, we like you. And then, so I got the gig.
Cool.
So then, fast forwarding to today, again, believe it or not, now this was a film that was shot in, like I said, northern Quebec, a place called Québeneau. And now this film is being shot in Montreal. So I was 1-for-1 with Jason videotaping me in for a shoot in Quebec. And this one's in Quebec too. So maybe I'm going to be 2 for 2. Fingers crossed.
Come on. Yeah, Tony, we really hope you get it.
Well, and the work that you did tonight, Adrain, was...
Adrain. I'm not going to lie, it was a little better than when I did it. But, I mean, not much.
A little. Yeah.
But and you know what? I mean, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, people in podcast world, this guy's a genius. He even made me look good, which is really scary.
It's true.
What do you mean it's true?
I jumped on the wrong compliment.
Boy, oh boy.
Tony was like earlier, they were looking for a short, fat man, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, perfect. And he was like, what do you mean perfect? I'm like,
Are you calling me fat?
And short? What the hell?
Well, short I'll take.
Yeah.
But you can't, as you said, you got to own it, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm owning my size.
Yeah. Like, I always think to myself, if I ever auditioned, I don't think I'd try to do an accent.
No.
I wouldn't try and be American. I'd just be like, look, this is
what I can do.
This is what I can do.
The problem is like, what happens if you slip?
Yeah, totally. Like,
Well-
and I know that sometimes people are like, they want accents, but then...
But what happens, though, on set, and you were mentioning that you wanted to sort of get into stuff like this, you know that on set they have dialect coaches. Because, well, case in point, when you take a guy like Hugh Jackman, right? He's Australian, right?
Totally.
And you'll see him as Wolverine, and, he's got...
Then you hear him be like, come on, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When he's talking in interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Or I mean, even a singer like Keith Urban, who is Australian.
Even Keith Urban.
Keith Urban's Australian, or New Zealand. I think he's Australian. And when you hear him sing, he sounds like, he's got that country twang.
Yeah, totally.
So, but they do have dialect coaches on set. And what they do is, they make darn good and sure that, if you got an accent like this, you got to make good sure you're talking like that,
That was pretty good.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, listen, just a quick question. Did you guys call each other at some stage and say, we're going to grow our hair? Let's have a race to see who can have the better lock of hair.
Are you jealous that you weren't on that conference call?
I'm growing it out of my chin here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, for the last, I think it's probably the last 2 years, I haven't had a haircut. And, but I mean, it's a situation where if the producer or the director says, we want your haircut, give me a pair of scissors.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
But what I am doing, believe it or not, is I'm just going to let it grow, and I'm going to donate it, to cancer or...
I mean, you have better hair now than I ever had in my whole life.
There you go.
Yeah, I haven't had a hair... I have had 2 haircuts since I've known this guy.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know how long that's been, but for some time.
Yeah.
And one of them was pretty recently. I really made somebody angry about my haircut.
Oh, really?
I mean, I make my wife angry every day about my lack of haircuts.
When she looks at his face, she just gets mad.
Every day she's like...
That's it. Must be love. Or
Forever.
something like it.
This is forever, baby.
Yeah, she is not happy with my... But, so what happened was we went... we're shooting this movie, Shifted, which we just wrapped on. Everyone, high five. I don't know. Oh, we said this one episode's going to be 53? Okay, cool. Anyways, we just wrapped Shifted.
Yeah.
A couple...
One day ago.
And... but we started it over a year ago.
Right.
And one of our lead characters, Mike Wirtz, last year he had a huge beard with a whole giant mustache, very big and mountain man-like. And when we came back to shoot this year, he had shaved it.
Oh, no.
So probably about 4 months ago. Yeah, 4 months ago, we were like, dude, you got to grow this mustache back. Like, you have to grow this back. We need to shoot again. And at one point we had thought, sorry,
Sorry,
I
right to
apologize.
the microphone.
Are we going to get like a fakie? Like, are we going to make up this?
Sure.
But we were like, that's going to be crazy. So, and Derek, I know you're watching. And I know I've just said like a couple times, and I'm going to try to stop. It's a terrible habit, and it needs to stop.
I see what you mean about the 3-hour podcast.
Totally. He was offended before when I said he likes to jibber jabber.
That's fine. But, anyways, he grew it back. I don't know where we're going with this. Oh,
I have no idea.
he said, if I'm going to grow this mustache back, then you have to stop shaving. And so I also stopped shaving for 4 months.
Wow.
And
That's 4 months?
No, I shaved it off.
I was going to say. Put some milk on it.
Good
Let the
one,
cat lick it off.
Tony. Good one.
Yeah. This guy's a jerk.
He's coming at
I don't
you.
even know why we invited this guy on the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I shaved this morning.
Totally.
So,
Like Jim Allen in the Santa Claus. Excuse me.
speaking of.
Yes.
Now, was it the second thing that we worked on?
Oh,
Or no. So I think
it was
we
the third.
worked on-
It was the third thing.
Yeah. So I think we worked. We did this
Yeah.
self tape,
Yes.
and then at one point, and look, I'm sorry that you're short and Santa Claus like, but at
Stout.
one.
I'm a little teapot.
So I can't remember how I was working with these particular guys, but they needed a Saint Nicholas.
They did
And I was
Or
like,
Chris
oh.
Kringle, because it was called the character name was Chris Kringle.
Was it Chris Kringle?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was like, I got just the guy for you. And so again, I sent pictures of Tony, and they were like, amazing. So yeah, we drove in. Now we didn't drive in together, did we?
Oh yeah, we drove in
together.
I picked you up here in Kitchener.
Yeah.
And we
We're
drove
driving to Toronto.
all the way to Toronto to this set.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot this short film.
Middle of the night, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Or
middle
what
of the
time did
night.
we show up? But it was dark when we showed up. I
Well,
think.
it was dark when we got there because we didn't actually know where we were.
Right.
We sort of got lost a little bit. So eventually we get to the site, and we're going into a basement. It's into a parking garage. Mm-hmm. But it's like 5 floors down parking garage. And as we're driving down, I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, what am I getting myself into?
Totally. We were like the whole time going, this
Yep.
is
scary.
sketchy town for sure.
So we get to the very bottom. There's a few cars and wardrobes set up, and then they got bottles of water and stuff like that. And we shot a thing called "This Will Slay You," and what it is, excuse me, what it is it was a couple of CIA agents are trying to figure out how Santa Claus can fly around the world so quickly.
They want his technology.
Yeah, exactly, and that's those are the words that they use.
Oh.
I won't tell you about it because you want to. This will slay you. Slay is spelled SLEIGH,
Like the sleigh.
like the sleigh. And check it out. It's interesting what happens to Santa Claus.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Amazing.
We will get the YouTube. I will like it, and I'll put it in the show notes and all that kind of stuff. But it was pretty great. So it was, Tony getting all Santa Claused up, and I actually, we met a great group of guys. I think Last Mile Studios.
Last Mile. That's
Last
it. Yeah.
Mile. Yeah.
Cool.
Lost
And,
Mile. Lost Mile.
Lost Mile.
Lost Mile. Yeah.
Lost Mile.
Andrew Massey.
Oh gosh, I can't remember any names.
Okay.
I didn't remember my own.
I remember Andrew.
Thank you.
Crystal.
Tony. Thank you.
Tony? Yeah.
Crystal Overlord, I think.
Crystal Overlord.
Yeah, she's
Like, is that a legit name?
Yeah,
A real
totally.
name? No.
No, I don't think so.
That was his stripper name.
No.
Crystal
I am the
Overlord.
Overlord.
Call me
I
Crystal.
will show you my boobies.
Gentlemen,
Oh, with that accent,
Gentlemen.
all of a sudden, the Crystal Overlord is from southern Quebec. She talk like that. I will show you my boobies.
okay, you guys are making fun of one of my favorite humans. So
Okay.
Who's that?
sorry. Crystal
Jean
Overlord.
Claude Van
She's
Damme.
amazing.
You can't have a name like Overlord
you can't. You're not allowed.
and then not expect that people are going to.
Yeah, like
Fair enough.
If your last name is Butt, you got to
Boom.
expect.
You got to expect a couple
you
butt
have to.
jokes.
Yeah.
Speaking of butt.
Like butt face or something.
Speaking of butt.
Yeah.
Gentlemen. On our movie set the other night, somebody was singing. In fact, Zach Whitford was singing "What in the Butt." Have you guys heard this song?
Thankfully, no.
No.
Okay, fair enough. It's fine. It was a very popular internet song many years ago by this gay gentleman named Samwell, and Jenna started singing it. What in the butt? And she thought it was kind of funny, and I was like, oh yeah, it was this music video back in the day, and she had never seen it. So she was like, well, I'm gonna look it up, but she only had like 3% battery life left, and so couldn't do it. So I got a message from Jenna today, and she was like, she says to me, she'd been laughing all day, essentially, from watching this video. So what I want you guys to do is go to YouTube and search for what in the butt, and
Is that 2 T's?
enjoy. You're welcome.
And see what happens.
Just add to Samuel's 68 million YouTube views.
Very good, Samuel. Very good.
68 million.
It's not nothing.
So, Tony, just give us a little rundown then of what you do when you've been asked to do an audition tape.
Yes.
What's generally the rundown, and then tell us a little bit about Casting Workbook.
Yeah,
which is
I'd love to
something
know.
that you're
So
involved with.
you use Casting Workbook.
Well, okay. Casting Workbook is a site for actors.
Okay.
And they have their pictures and their resume. I'm represented by an agency in Toronto. So what happens is...
But now, you said the name of the agency.
Yes.
And it did not sound like Toronto Acting Agency. It sounded
Are you allowed to
more
say
like...
anything, Tony? Or?
Oh, I can. I mean, my agent is Lisa Allen, and the company is called LA Entertainment.
You see.
Lisa
so that's
Allen.
very sneaky.
Yeah, well,
Because
obviously she's an intelligent
LA,
lady.
when you said LA
Yeah,
Entertainment.
you think of Los Angeles.
Totally.
But
I was like, you're represented out of LA?
I wish
That's
I was.
cool.
But I mean, you know what? If I get LA work, it'll be through Lisa.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so what happens is on Casting Workbook, it'll have my resume and pictures and the contact information for my agent. So what will happen is when the agent, when stuff comes across her desk or emails or however they do it,
Right.
She will email my information to them, to the casting agents, and they will look at it and say, no, he's too short, he's too tall, he's too skinny, he's too fat, he's too white,
tall?
he's too dark. Yeah, we'll just slide over that, Jason. So
I don't think we will. How many have those come?
so what happens is, well, I was too tall for a hobbit.
Fair. Okay, fine.
Other than that, you know,
Shed a tear.
yeah, because they wanted me in New Zealand, but I was just too tall.
Yeah, totally.
Darn it.
And too Italian.
And too Italian, yeah. And the thing is, I'm French Canadian, but everybody thinks I'm Italian. And when your first name is Tony, then
Totally everybody
Sure
thinks
enough.
you're Italian.
and the interesting thing is, anytime anybody talks to you and they know your name is Tony, they all go, "Hey, Tony."
Tony.
Everybody's from the Bronx now. Everybody's from the Sopranos.
on, Tony.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Tony,
that's
yeah,
good.
And you're
oh,
like,
exactly.
I do not know how to say.
Gonna with my fromage.
Do you want to have a poutine?
You want me to put in?
You want to put in with me?
I said
So-
what in the butt.
So
Bringing it
Casting
all
Workbook-
around.
I
It's
see.
a website.
Randomly stuck it on the top there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Casting Workbook is a website
Yeah,
that the agents go to, or the casting agents go to, and they'll see your information, and then they'll say, yes, we want to see them, or no, we don't.
Cool.
Okay, I have a couple questions before you go on.
Yes, sir.
Number one,
Yes, sir.
what percentage, Tony, you're...
I'm flashing. It's my daughter. She's asking me if I made it home safely.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I'm still here.
Oh, man, that can't keep flashing.
You're with two strange men in a strange basement, and one of them's about to ask you to take your pants off. The question is who?
It's what was
Let's
it?
get to that answer right after this break.
Yeah.
Wait, we're not...
Are we breaking?
You could... No.
Oh, we're not breaking?
No.
Because I should respond to my daughter.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll just drink beers.
I'm still here, princess.
Ding, ding. Bang, bang.
So,
Comma.
hello, full stop, exclamation mark. What do you mean? Hello.
Hello.
Siri.
So the two questions I have are, what would you say... Now, have you know about Mandy.com?
Yes.
Do you ever
I dated her
use
for a
it?
while. No.
Do you use Mandy.com at all?
I haven't used Mandy.com for a long, long time.
What would you say... Well, you may not be able to answer this, but I suppose what would you say is the difference between castingworkbook.com and Mandy.com? We used Mandy.com for probably half of the casting for Shifted. So we did...
The other half was people we knew already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Well, no.
Well,
So we put up a cast page on our website.
Yeah.
And
Sorry. Sorry about that.
And we posted on Facebook. So we did have people that we knew. We had people respond that we didn't know, but were part of the KW kind of film network and,
Yep.
Talking
and
about
people
Brian?
on Facebook. Yep, Brian and others, some of our monsters and things like that.
My apologies for
Saw our Facebook posts
Yeah.
and things like that. Came to our website, applied, and then Mandy as well. So
Monsters.
I would love to know kind of what you think. No, it's down further. Yeah,
Sorry.
You might have to just put it on the table
Yeah.
if it's gonna
okay.
keep going.
All right.
Yeah, just because we're flashing into the camera. And
My apologies for that,
Somebody's
guys.
gonna.
Sorry.
So what's gonna happen is
People are actually
someone's
worried about
gonna
me.
die from an epileptic seizure.
I have another
and,
drink.
I'm gonna have one.
Yeah, but I've been
And,
easier.
we're gonna get in the news.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, any publicity is good publicity.
Totally.
Anyways, for the third time,
Yeah, but
difference
Mandy.com.
between Mandy and Casting Workbook, would you say?
Uh,
Same sort of thing.
No, not even close. From what I understand, like Casting Workbook is, I mean, you don't have to be a union member to have your resume and stuff like that on there.
But does it cost dollars?
Casting Workbook does.
Yeah. How many bones does it cost?
Do you know what? If I remember correctly, which very rarely happens, I should start. I don't drink, but I should start drinking, and then my memory would get better.
You don't drink at all?
Can you imagine? I'm like this,
Even
and I
as
don't
long
drink.
as I've known him.
Yeah. The odd glass
No
of
coffee
wine, but
too, right?
no coffee, no tea, no hot liquids. The only hot
Yeah.
liquid I can drink is Neocitrin.
That's kind of what I remember. I remember Tony being like,
Wow.
"No thanks."
Yeah,
I don't want
but
it."
the odd glass of wine, like very odd.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and I'll have a glass of beer. I'll have a pint about every 6 to 9 months. You know. Oh, there was a time when I drank
Wow.
way too much.
Oh.
Yeah. See, I'm only 13 years old, and look at me. That's from the beer.
you have got so out your priorities, Harry.
Yeah.
But Casting Workbook, agents look at Casting Workbook.
Yeah.
Agents don't look at Mandy.com. People that put
You heard it here first, Mandy.com.
people.
Totally. Mandy.com is more, I suppose it's more for indie productions.
That's exactly
It's possible,
correct. Yeah.
It does cost to be on Mandy as an actor.
Oh, it
Not-
does?
Yeah.
It never used
Not
to.
as a.
It
Yeah.
used to be free.
It
And
used to
now-
be free.
And now, do you know how much it is now?
You know what? As I said, I haven't used Mandy.com in forever.
That seems like garbage to me.
Yeah.
I agree.
As an actor, it does. As a someone looking, it does not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's just it. But I mean,
But the problem, yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're preying on the actors here. That's
Yeah.
kind of.
I would think so. Like, see, Casting Workbook.
The thing is,
there's
Somebody
also,
else
the
should
thing
slide
is,
in
though-
and do it.
Yeah.
and I don't mean to be a jerk to actors,
Mm.
but there's a million actors for every no, that's probably not true, but there's 10,000 actors probably for every casting agent or
Oh, sure.
casting director. So there's got to be some way to differentiate. If it was free, then a million people would be on there.
Everybody would go.
But if
Oh,
it
yeah.
costs $70 a year, you will weed out the people that are like, I can't even afford $70 a year.
Totally, and I'm not that serious about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and there's also
okay,
there's a
okay.
lot of sites on Facebook. Not to do a plug for Facebook by any stretch, but there's a lot of sites, actors, background actors, things like that that you can belong to.
Yep.
Okay.
The thing is, one of the misconceptions also about having an agent is, and this is very important if anybody is trying to get into the acting profession, never pay your agent a penny. Never pay any money up front. Because agents make money when you make money.
Right.
And there was an agency that I belonged to when I first started out that I gave them money up front, and that was the dumbest thing in the entire world. Never, never, never. An agent typically for film and television takes 15%,
Yeah.
and for theater they usually take 10% because typically there's no money in theater. But film and television is typically 15%.
Yeah. Now, do you find
Every single person who is acting
Yes.
on TV is paying at least 15% to some other person.
That's correct.
seems kind of
Wow.
bullshit, doesn't it?
It does seem. It feels a little bit like there is a middleman there. We could get ourselves into big trouble.
So
here.
you know what we could do? We could make a point of only hiring actors that didn't have agents.
No, that seems silly to me. No, because
I don't think so.
If George Clooney walked in the door and was like, "Guys, I'll do your movie,"
I mean-
we're gonna be like, "Sure." Oh, you have an agent? Oh,
Okay.
I'm so sad.
I meant
'cause
like-
we have this
I meant like
principle
a
that we're gonna
point.
try and uphold.
I didn't mean
But
I
see,
didn't mean that.
but
I
the
just meant
interesting-
like we could try.
No, here's the thing. It doesn't, like, from our perspective as
Right.
people who try and produce movies, like, that the amount of money doesn't change for us,
No,
right? It changes for the actor.
that's exactly right.
You know, and it's just for me, looking at all the TV that goes on, and there are agents who are, you know, behind each and every
Sure.
actor there.
And not only agents, but there's publicists, there's managers,
yeah.
all kinds of things. Now, I mean, the thing is, I would imagine that some of the big stars could end up representing themselves. I know that in theater, like at the Stratford Festival, some of the actors that have been there for years and years and years have let go of their agents,
Sure.
and they negotiate their own contract.
Like if you're Brad Pitt, then your agent can be Bradley Pitt's mom.
Potentially.
Yeah,
And you're like, you want me to be in a movie, you'll be speaking to my mom.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
giving
or-
her
or-
15%.
or just someone who's going to field your calls. At some stage, when the work becomes so regular and everybody knows you, then you don't. Yeah, do you need? I suppose you might need someone going over the legalese. You know what I mean?
There, yeah.
Going through the
yeah.
contract, making sure that all that stuff. Like, the thing is, when you're the size of Brad Pitt, you actually don't. You might not need an agent, but you need a lawyer. You need
And that's just
war-
it.
You know, a wardrobe person. You need like 4 or 5 people because he's such a huge business.
Well, your wardrobe person and stuff like that, they're provided by the set.
No, but but the thing is,
Oh, you mean a personal stylist?
Totally.
Oh, okay, I got
because
you.
people that are on the scale of like a Brad Pitt, say for instance,
Sure.
they are a business.
Sure,
His
absolutely.
face,
I
body.
have a personal stylist. Today, my shirt says, Mr. Steal Your Heart.
It's your son. No?
Who is your stylist?
I'm just saying, if you think that I should, you know,
he wants
trim
to make
down
money.
trim down some of my finances and stop paying $2,000 a month to my personal stylist, it's maybe one of the expenses of the month I could cut down.
Totally.
But the interesting thing is when you see that somebody's making X amount per movie, you know, like Nick Cage is making $20 million for his next movie,
Yeah.
and his agent is getting 50% of that. You know, so that's $3 million
Yeah.
to the agent.
Yeah.
So now that $20 million is $17 million, and then you've got your publicist, and then you've got your manager and stuff like that.
Totally.
So I mean,
And then you have tax.
oh yes.
And I don't know what it is in the States, but in Canada, in that bracket,
Ask
you're-
Wesley Snipes how he feels about paying taxes.
Totally. You in Canada, you're smashing up to the 45% mark with
Exactly.
that kind of money. So you're like a top actor. You're feeling the burn.
I
when
mean,
the government.
in the U.S. it's not that much, but
No, is it closer to? Do you know at all? 30% or something like that.
But nevertheless, it's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And so, I mean, but oh, you poor thing, you're only at the end of the day taking $5 million home. Well, still, it's $5 million.
Totally. But don't make a life that costs millions and millions of
sure.
dollars to run every year.
Yeah.
Just make a life so that
Johnny Depp,
yeah.
$90,000 a month wine.
He
bill.
does
Yeah, he's in big trouble. Have you been watching
financial trouble.
Oh, big time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
Are
his,
you serious?
Yeah, so on top of all the things you guys have been talking about, I don't know how often this happens, but Johnny Depp has a money manager.
Mhm.
So maybe lots of stars have them. I don't know.
There are a lot that do.
His money manager company is suing him for basically screwing himself, right? So like $90,000 a month in wine to be Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is
Anyways, I think some of that's kind of over.
And
But
come on,
Yeah.
the Pirates of the Caribbean money, bro. I mean,
they're like, stop wasting our money.
yeah.
wow.
Well, but like you say, don't live that lifestyle. You know, there's a lot of people that are still living in their original house. A lot of actors that are very, very low key. You know, and I mean, you know what? When I make it big, notice I said when, not if.
Yeah.
Excuse me. When I make it big, what do you need with a 35-room mansion when there's
Sure.
2 or 3 people?
Sure.
You know.
Well, and I've said this before. I once did a video for some folks who owned a mansion.
Yeah.
And when I went to their house, there were huge empty rooms.
Sure.
They only lived, and I asked them about it. I was like, "You guys don't do anything." It's like, no. I mean, it's a big empty room for whatever. And I was like, where do you live in the house? And they lived in the kitchen,
Yep.
the bedrooms.
Sure.
The kitchen lounge, kitchen/lounge.
Where the TV is.
Where
Yep.
the TV is, and then their bedrooms.
The pool.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, like why have all these? I mean, my dream place to live would be 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with great showers. I mean, they have these cascading showers, so your whole body and you never cold.
like a rain shower.
Rain shower, exactly. And then a decent backyard to relax in. But what do you need? It's like when people go on holiday and they want to stay in a suite of a hotel and stuff like that. A lot of times it's probably the lifestyle that they've had that they want to continue.
They expect like hot food at every meal.
Yeah, imagine that. But I mean, when I go on holiday, a 5-star hotel or a 3-star hotel, the food is the food, right? It's just your accommodations. As long as the bed is clean, as long as the washroom is clean, what more do you need, right? I mean, in my world.
So back to casting workbook.
Yes.
So the other question that I had for you was, what percentage of things does generally speaking,
Sure.
this doesn't have to be just your agent, but in your experience with other people and everything,
Right.
what percentage of gigs does your agent call you up and say, hey, Tony, I'm looking at this thing and it's the right fit for you and I think that you should apply for it, versus you're like looking at stuff and you're like, hey, I'd like to apply for this. Can you do that? And follow up to that,
Right.
if you find something
Right.
and you're
You
like,
always
hey,
have to pay your agent.
Yes. Yes.
oh, that's fucking
Yes.
bullshit.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, it really depends.
Why is that?
Well, it really depends. And like
Okay.
I said, so let me sort of answer that, because what I don't want to do is sound like I'm hating on an agent.
Totally.
Right.
Because an agent can be the person that helps launch your career.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
totally. 100%.
But what happens is, the case in point, I did a commercial for Ford,
okay.
and the Ford commercial was just my hands, because as they say, I have a great face for radio. But it was just my hands, sorry. And it was doing one of those, do you remember those things they were, when you were kids, they're blue and red?
Yeah.
You did them like this.
You open them and
Yeah, exactly.
like the little flower.
Yeah.
And then you open one
exactly.
up and it says, buy a Ford F-150.
And that was the commercial.
Get the Ford.
That was the commercial that I did. So what
great.
happened was something like that. But what happened was I did the commercial, and I was paid for it. My agent got 15%. Then it was picked up for a second run. My agent got 15%. And I only did it once. So I got paid. I got paid twice, but my agent got paid twice too.
I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
That one makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like I say, I don't want to sound like a hater, but the thing is that your agent. So on casting workbook, I can see a lot of the things that are being cast,
Right.
but I can't see them all.
Right.
So I'll email my agent and I'll say, did you send me in for that? But the problem is like this particular movie that we can't say the title of and stuff like that.
Sure.
This particular movie, when I clicked the sides, it doesn't say what the character looks like, right? So I would send to my agent and say, did you submit me for the character of Bob in
The Jungle Book.
in the Jungle Book or something like that? And what happens is my agent would email back and say, well, Bob's 6'2", with blonde hair. Because they get the complete breakdown.
Right.
On casting workbook, it's not a complete breakdown.
And then you send back an email saying, so did you send
Yeah,
me
exactly.
in for Bob?
I'm 6'2" blonde. Well, I used to say that there was a
I got cast as a 30-year-old Asian woman.
exactly.
I
They
can make it
rewrote for
work.
me. Exactly.
I can make it work.
Yeah, I can be a tall, blonde, black lady. No problem at all. I am an actor. I am a thespian. No. But no, so that's what Casting Workbook does. It's really cool, though, because on Casting Workbook, I'm able to upload 16 pictures. So there's a bunch of different pictures that I have on there that, I mean, like we touched on about the hair. So my hair is really long in a couple of pictures.
Right.
and I'm wearing a suit in one, and I'm wearing just a regular jacket in another, and where I'm just wearing a shirt in another. So what it does is it gives the casting agents a bunch of different looks.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully through Casting Workbook is where they saw my pictures and said, hey, let's give this guy a shot, and then come to you guys to send me there.
Totally. So what's just going back, like,
Yeah.
how did you get into acting in the first place? Like, what were some of your first
Holy
few
crap.
things?
I started acting in the basement of my parents' house when I was 6 years old.
I mean, that doesn't count.
But that's typical, right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, I started acting, I guess it was maybe in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I moved to Stratford back in 1983.
What a great year for the world in general.
You were born in 83?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm quick.
And I was
The,
4 years old.
Yeah, and I was 18. So, yes, that makes me 54.
He's the oldest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest at the table. But the first play that I did in Stratford was actually Jesus Christ Superstar.
No way.
Whoa.
And I went out for the part of Mary Magdalene, but that was already cast. So, and believe it or not, the director of Jesus Christ Superstar, let's see if you get the irony of this. His name was Alex Moses.
Oh.
His last name was Moses, directing Jesus Christ Superstar.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I was cast as Pontius Pilate.
Cool.
And then from Pontius Pilate, the next play I did was called The Mousetrap, and I played Detective Sergeant Trotter. And then it just went on from there. And then eventually I started looking for agents. And my first agency were really crappy.
For theatre, you were still primarily focused on theatre.
Still primarily focused on theater, but I didn't find an agent for theater at all. Because, again, ACTRA is the Film and Television Union. And in the theater world, it's Canadian Actors Equity Association. So equity is theater. And the really tough thing about theater is that you have to
be there during the performance.
well, yeah, something like that.
When the audience is going to watch it, you got to be there as well.
Oh, you know what? I would do theater 1,000 times over film and television because the beauty of theater. But what happens is you have to be a member of the union to get a gig, but you can't get a gig unless you're a member of the union. So I mean, it's a catch-22, right?
It is totally. People complain about this for ACTRA too.
Sure.
They're like, how do we get an ACTRA gig when we're not ACTRA?
Well, what happens though with that is with an ACTRA gig, I think, and don't quote me completely on this, but you can audition as a non-ACTRA. Like when I got my first ACTRA credits,
Right.
when I did the commercial for Ford, they had to explain to ACTRA why a non-union actor got the gig. Right? And they have to, I think it's for every non-union actor that auditions, there has to be, I think, between 3 and 10 ACTRA actors audition. You know, and
So if a film, so what you're saying is, if I'm hearing you,
Go ahead.
is that if an ACTRA person, if you audition a bunch of ACTRA people and they're not right,
right,
and you find somebody that is
right
not
for the
ACTRA,
That's
but
non-union,
they're
yeah.
perfect, and that's who you want,
Yeah.
you can take them.
you can take them, and then what happens is you have to pay
mean,
for
that's
a
cool.
permit. You have to pay a permit to be on set
Right.
to ACTRA. Right, and I can't remember what the permit was. Again, I apologize for not remembering all the
it's
numbers.
okay.
But so when I did the Ford commercial, I had to pay a percentage to ACTRA, and then what happened was it got picked up for another run. So again, I had to pay for that second permit.
It was due to your hands.
It was due to my hands, absolutely. And
They
since
were
then,
like
I broke my
ladies.
finger, so I can't do. I'm not a hand model anymore. But then I did another television show, and it's called Satisfaction. It's not on anymore. And that was my third ACTRA gig. So again, I had to pay the permit. But once you've paid the permit, once you've done 3 ACTRA gigs, then you no longer have to pay a permit. Now you are a full member of ACTRA. So now when I go on set, if it's an ACTRA thing, you know, I just get paid ACTRA wage or whatever's negotiated with my agent.
Right.
And then you go from there.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing and so formal. And hopefully we are one day dealing with people on this level.
Yeah, and I was telling Tony before, like we did deal with ACTRA once before, but it was for we did a short film, My Huntsville Muse, and people that we wanted involved were ACTRA, and so we did was like a ACTRA co-production or something like that, and so we didn't like they didn't get paid, but they do own a piece of the thing, and that was the whole. We did pay. I think we paid their insurance, and we paid a fee. So
and then they own a piece of the movie.
And then they own a piece of the short film, So they can do that. If people in ACTRA want to produce something, they can do these types of like side deals, I think.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's pretty cool.
Now, I do have a question.
Sure.
Okay.
Which I enjoy. I really love asking actors. If you could play, what is the ultimate role that you would love to play?
Oh boy.
Like your like that you could die happy having known that you had played this role.
Now, are you talking existing role or type of
No,
role?
type
in
of
some
role,
sort of
totally.
type
Because-
of role.
And I will just explain a little bit because the thing is that the movie that we've just finished shifted, because this is the question that I posed to Derek Blackenbauer. Said, what is the one thing you want to play? And he was like, man, I just want to be a bad guy. I want to be a,
Yeah. Well,
He wants to try his chops, and maybe someday he will.
Well, I did a show called like it was through Forensic Factor.
This fucking guy, he can't. There's luckily we have a couple people that watch our show regularly. Okay, this fucking guy can't keep his mouth shut. I swear to God, I'm sorry, but he's gonna tell people the movie that you're in in a minute.
Well, please don't.
Spoils our movie. No, we won't.
Well, no, because
he's already forgotten.
And it's also bad juju. If
we won't.
I won't.
But it's so funny. And I don't know how many times we've given away plot points to our movie, and I'm like,
stop, pause, reverse.
Anyway. Well, the good thing is that
amazing.
you're recording this before it goes on, so
it's not
you
live.
Cut stuff out. Yeah.
That will be something.
We will not cut it out.
But that will be something to think about when we do go live. Is these are the things you cannot say.
You cannot say exactly.
Yeah.
In answer to your question, for a television series back in the day, it was called Forensic Factor. I played a hitman. And it was called Future Crime. So I played a hitman, and then this film that we shot in northern Quebec that Jason helped me out with the audition.
Yeah.
Again, I played what they called a cleaner, who would go and clean up after the hitman.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I've played cops, so I've been both ends of the spectrum. I think, and I've played a grieving father of a girl that was killed. So I mean, I've covered basically everything, but. In answer to your question, Al Pacino played Michael Corleone in The Godfather. And I mean, in my opinion, the two best movies ever made were Godfather 1 and The Godfather and Godfather Part 2. Godfather Part 3 was, necessary for, I don't know why, but Michael Corleone.
You can't make a trilogy without a third one.
Exactly.
So you would like to be
the mob boss.
The mob boss.
The mob boss. The problem is that I'm not, 6 foot tall, 235 pounds and dashing good looking. So I'm not going to be that character, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And the thing is, you would need to find your mob boss.
Exactly. And I mean, people look at me and they say I have that look.
Totally.
So, I mean, sure, from their mouths to the casting agents and producers and directors' ears.
Yeah, I love it.
But it's probably because, or you know what, maybe not necessarily a mob boss. But I'd like to be a character in a movie that has unlimited funds. Pierce Brosnan in a movie called The Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing but money.
That was amazing.
In all of these
I love
movies,
Rene Russo.
Yeah, and that scene on the stairs?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have, but I don't remember the scene on the stairs.
Well,
so
you have to rewatch it.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Have some tissues handy.
What for? For crying or?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, God, crying. But what happens is I would just love that type of character. Even in, I don't know if anybody's seen 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm not a fan of the movie, and I only watched it for a few minutes. But again, Christian Grey has tons and tons of money that he hops in a car and flies to the airport and gets on his plane and flies.
Doesn't even have to wait an hour in line.
Exactly. Things like that. So a character that has unlimited resources. Like a Tony Stark.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that would be probably my ideal one.
Cool. Go ahead.
What's been one of your favorite roles to play? Like, and I know you've
in film or theater or
either.
I had an opportunity to play the lion in The Wizard of Oz.
Very cool.
Oh man, you know what? It is the best character ever.
Now was that with the group in New Hamburg?
Yes, absolutely.
It was what are they called?
They're called Trinity Community Players.
Yeah.
How did you know that?
Because I remember that they put on The Wizard of Oz. I know that there's a sign I drive past quite fairly often about the community players and what play they're putting on.
Yeah, right by that alloy casting thing.
That's right.
Well, see,
and I just saw The Wizard of Oz, so I just thought coming from Stratford, you would be close to that.
But that was we did that though 20 years ago.
Oh, they did it again.
Oh, they did it again. Yeah, not too long ago, a couple of years ago. But
incidentally, when I went to Kind of Magic, which is the local sort of magic makeup wardrobe. Makeup shop.
Where we get our blood.
Where we get our blood and things.
Right.
And the gentleman from the shop, he was busy making molds and masks for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is their next play.
Wow.
And the masks looked amazing.
Did you know who's working on that?
Full prosthetic.
Wow.
It's not Tabby. Is Tabby working on that too?
And you know who else?
Michael Mazurkovich.
Audrey.
Audrey's
Tabby
on
just
that.
got her a job.
Tabby got her a job? Oh, you see what happens.
There you go. Networking.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think Michael Mazurkovich might be one of the goblins.
Oh, maybe.
Or one of the things. Anyway, he had posted some stuff of them trying some things on his face.
Audrey's a lovely little 13-year-old makeup enthusiast, special effects enthusiast that came on set and worked with our
cool.
makeup lady and did
Audrey.
a really good job.
Yeah, she did a really good job.
Very cool.
So, now, you said unlimited funds.
Right.
Now, that's awesome. But what, so you mentioned Gray, who has, tendencies towards, sort of, sexual things.
Yeah. No, nothing like that.
No.
Yeah.
But, and then Tony Stark, who has, a weapons save the world thing.
Yeah.
Thomas Crown, who's like a thief.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what
would
would
you
you do with your unlimited funds? Batman, Bruce Wayne has unlimited funds.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
also trying to save the world. But what would your deal be?
I guess probably being the bad guy.
Crime.
Being the bad guy, being the criminal that. But I mean, it's really interesting because there's so many different roles out there. They're all basically there's a good guy, there's a bad guy, there's a good girl, there's a bad girl. Mm-hmm. There's a villain, there's a hero, whether it's a superhero or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess being the bad guy,
Villains are fun.
but having all the money in the world.
Mm-hmm. That's
like it.
cool.
I like it.
It would be very cool.
So Tony, there's something we ask all of our guests as well, and I mean I might be able to guess some of them.
I'm keeping my pants on. I'm sorry. I will not do that. Sorry, I know you mentioned it earlier.
I mean, I know that you
I
call
like
them
you,
pants,
Jason.
I'm getting the
Tony-
latex gloves.
Oh,
but Tony doesn't wear pants.
Shall I cough?
Ladies and gentlemen? Tony wears shorts.
I wear shorts 12 months of the year.
Yeah.
What the shit, Tony? I just realized he's wearing shorts.
Yeah, totally.
really?
100%.
Do you know what it is? It's like minus 20 degrees outside.
Doesn't matter.
You wear shorts all year round.
New Year's Day 2018, I was snowshoeing in shorts. That's just who I am.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Totally.
Yeah,
100%.
that's
No,
but tell me why. Let me understand.
I don't like wearing pants. I mean, that's the long
it's
long
easier.
I mean, okay.
It's easier
I
to
get
get a appropriate breeze for the fellas
But
when your
I
pants
should
don't
wear a
go all
kilt
the way.
then.
like you don't.
I should wear a kilt.
You don't like the feeling of the material on your legs, or
You know what? I mean,
just
I wear pants when necessary. Like
Yeah.
I I was
wedding
a
or something.
bouncer in a bar, and
Yeah.
of course I wore pants.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm on a film set,
They're like, Tony, for Christ's sakes, put some pants on.
put some pants on. I finished doing a play not too long ago, about 6 months ago in St. Mary's, called All My Sons, and I played the doctor, and it was in the 40s or 50s.
So you had to wear
And they were like, you cannot wear shorts.
Oh no, they had me wear, and what I did was they braided my hair, and I tucked it into my shirt. So because I mean, community theater, I wasn't going to cut my hair for that, right?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with community theater. It's just that the role,
You're not getting paid.
I'm not getting paid for
Right,
it. Yeah.
right.
But the thing is, I really don't like wearing pants. I will wear it if necessary. I have I think I have one pair of jeans, and I have 2 pair of dress pants, and that's it.
To me, it's like, that's like quinoa. I'll eat it, but I'm not going to eat it if I don't have to.
There you go.
If I'm not getting paid to.
There you go.
Quinoa
Yeah,
is
quinoa and
delicious.
shorts. Yeah.
Sure. So, Tony,
Not a quinoa fan myself.
there's a question that we
How
ask
can you
all
not
of our...
like quinoa? It's like
Because
rice.
quinoa, it's not
like
like
rice.
rice. It's like little. It's like little tiny eggs.
Turds?
Pieces of rice.
No, rice is delicious.
If
Yeah, exactly. It's the same.
okay, if the quinoa, if I didn't know I was eating it, and it was mixed in with all kinds of really good things, then I would eat it.
Someday,
This-
when a
you-
quinoa grows up and becomes a grown-up quinoa, then it would be rice.
Guys, like
Yes.
quinoa is not. It's like a non.
Food. It's gross.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan.
This is
I
crazy.
find that the
This is
taste
crazy
is
to me.
lousy.
You probably like pudding.
What kind of pudding?
Any kind.
Quinoa pudding.
I eat quinoa pudding. I'll eat pudding.
Disgusting.
I don't mind. I like pudding. Butterscotch pudding.
You guys are brutal.
Or
Okay.
chocolate pudding.
How will
So,
you
Tony,
eat
there
that
is a
pudding?
question, and it has
I'm
nothing
sorry.
to do with pudding or pants.
Well,
That
then
we
why am
ask
I here?
all of our guests.
Why am I here then?
If you had to choose 3 movies to be your desert island movies,
Yes.
okay, movies that you'd have to watch over and over and over again,
Yes.
what would they be?
The Princess Bride.
William Goldman
And very
just
relevant.
died this year.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
he just passed away.
Yeah.
Nice pull.
But what a
I mean, I love Princess Bride.
you can watch it forever. You can watch it and watch it and watch it and watch. Can I say that The Godfather 1 and 2 combined?
Yeah.
I mean,
You can do whatever you want.
I can
You totally can.
because it's my island.
Yeah, this is your island.
Okay, The Godfather 1 and 2. And then, believe it or not, and this is going to throw you guys for a loop, Aaron Brockovich. You know, the scene at the end when Albert Finney walks into Julia Roberts' office as Aaron Brockovich and says, the fee that we discussed was inappropriate, and gives her her bonus check. And she freaks out on him and says, you know, he says that it's a trust thing. And she says, don't use big words that you don't understand. And she's screaming at him because she didn't think that she got paid enough.
right?
And she looks at that check, and it's a $2 million check.
Yeah.
And just that, it
That look
brought
on his
everything.
face.
Oh, that look
Yeah.
on his face when he goes, you know, you suck at apologies. And he
Yeah,
walks
yeah.
away. But just, I mean, the movie itself,
Yeah.
the Aaron Brockovich movie, where it brought all the stuff about the bad water and Mark Helgenberger, I think her name is. She plays. She was in CSI for the longest time.
Okay.
She plays one of the women that were affected, and they're giving that family $6 million, and she hasn't got a clue what she's going to do with $6 million.
Right.
But just the storyline. So Godfather 1 and 2,
I mean, that's a great one.
Princess Bride, and Aaron Brockovich.
I mean, Albert
Cool.
Finney just died this year
We've
too.
never had
He did
that
so.
one.
Within the last couple of months.
That's right.
And he was great. I
He
mean,
was
what a
great.
face.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's lots of pretty actors, but I mean, that guy's face
Yeah.
is awesome.
Well,
I love it.
when you talk about pretty actors and stuff like that, when we were talking earlier about roles and things like that, you take a guy like Danny DeVito, you know, you take a guy like Joe Pesci, you take a guy like Steve Buscemi. These are not Hollywood, chiseled jaws, good-looking people.
Totally.
You take actresses like Rhea Perlman. You take the actress from Throw Mama from the Train. That was with Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito. all of that's why I'm really excited about this role that you guys have helped me audition for, because the cab driver in this, what does the cab driver look like? You know, and hopefully I have that look for the cab driver, because the actor that's in it, and again, we won't mention his name. I mean, he's a good looking man, and I think he's in his 60s or early 70s or something like that. What's that?
He looks okay.
But he's a, swaven de boner, as they say. But I mean, the thing is that there is a look out there for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, I could be the billionaire, the gazillionaire, but I don't have to look,
Sure.
I don't have to be Pierce Brosnan in the Thomas Crown Affair.
Sure. You could be Bill Gates.
Yeah, like that, he's the nerdiest guy you've ever seen in his life.
Totally.
But what a philanthropist.
Totally.
And the money that he's, given to the causes and things.
Yeah, for sure.
But so those are my answers.
Tony, amazing.
Cool.
Thank you for being on the show. I hope it was super fun.
Oh,
for
it
you.
sucked.
Yeah.
It was awful.
No, come
I
on.
know.
Can't
You got
believe-
to wear shorts.
I
You
always
got
wear
to
shorts,
sit,
though.
You got to sit next to two guys that enjoyed their beers.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was my pleasure. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking me.
And we really hope that you get this role.
So do I. Because then I can come back and talk about it.
Totally. And you said, and I have it on camera,
2
that
bottles
you
of
would
scotch.
buy us bottles of scotch.
Bottles
if
of
you got
scotch.
the
I
role.
mean,
Exactly.
returning podcast guest is important. However,
and now listen,
Yes.
if the
don't fuck around. It's got to be.
it's got to be good
Lafroy.
scotch.
Or Jura. Come on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
I mean,
We'll give you a list of
everyone,
the scotches we approve
everyone,
of.
I'll take your $8 bottle of scotch.
Exactly. my brother's a big scotch
Tony,
fan.
karma. We already talked about it. Okay, don't fuck around. Is your brother a big scotch fan?
He's a big scotch
Yeah.
fan, but he doesn't spend. He spends like $25 for a bottle.
Yeah.
What does he drink?
You know what? I don't drink, so I don't know. I bought him a bottle for Christmas, and
I always love finding out. I truly, I love finding out what people's favorite drink is.
Oh, yeah?
And same with cigars. Like if a guy's a cigar
I
smoker,
love cigars.
I love finding out what their favorite cigar is because there's lots of shit. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But every now and again you see like a guy who's like 80, and that guy and whatever he's smoking
He's
smells
been smoking
amazing.
cigars
And you're
forever.
like.
Yeah.
He doesn't spend. That guy does not spend $60 a cigar. He's got the perfect cigar,
Sure.
right, or the perfect scotch for him, and that's what he loves. And I just love finding that stuff out.
Yeah.
Do you love cigars?
Love cigars, but you know what? I've never bought one.
Yeah.
People go to Cuba and they bring them back for me.
Yeah,
But you know what? In all honesty, my sister just went to Cuba, and I picked her up at the airport at 2 a.m. And
like a good brother.
I told her that I would
For the Cubans.
for the cigars.
Yeah.
And she brought me back 2 boxes.
Whew.
And it's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
talking
don't know the name of them, but there was a guy that I used to know who would bring me back what was called, I called them all day suckers. They're about this long, right? And they were, and it was, I would walk probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 kilometers, and in that walk, I would smoke the whole cigar.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, an all day sucker.
Tony?
It was fantastic.
You're a cigar smoker, so keep those 2 boxes in a humidor. Otherwise, they're gonna go caca.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Gotta get a humidor.
Had a good
Get a
friend.
humidor.
Had a good friend that got a box of cigars from a friend.
Yeah.
Left them for a couple of years, and they are.
Oh, no, they'll be
good.
smoked before
They're-
that.
No,
Yeah, they'll be smoked
they're
before
done.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're done.
He's like, I'm
They're-
going to smoke one tonight, damn
they're
it.
totally
In my
dried out.
shorts.
Yeah, of course.
Outside.
Snowshoeing.
for the next 8 hours. Boom. All right, well, everyone, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll probably talk about Shifted. Talk about the rap and how everything went.
Yeah.
And in the
And,
next couple, well, my
When,
film
when
doesn't,
are you gonna find out?
well, it
you
doesn't
get
shoot
part-
till April. So, I mean,
All right, well, let us know.
I'll
we're
let you
gonna
know.
fill. We're gonna fill in
Yeah,
the
keep
people.
us,
come back.
keep us in the loop.
if there's 2 bottles of scotch in front of these 2 gentlemen on one of their podcasts, you'll know
we
they
will
were from me.
know.
All right, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Tony.
thank
and
you.
You dream big.
And work hard.
That's wow. How about dream hard and work big?
That's fine. You could do that. Okay, we're gonna do our, because that's our sign out.
Oh,
That's
is
our
it?
sign off.
Oh,
Dream big, work
I was
hard.
including
Okay.
And you
I
have
was
to
including
then,
you.
Then you have to add in your own one. Okay, here we
Oh.
go.
Dream big.
Work hard.
Love sex. I have no idea.
Tony, our target demographic is 12-year-old boys.
Oh.
Thanks for watching.
First frames first.
Yes. First frames first. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome.
If you enjoyed, head over to our website, www.thefableforest.com. Check out our films and sign up for our newsletter where we will send you exclusive content.
Hit us up on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, always at The Fable Forest. And share our show with your friends. It'll really help us out a lot.
Dream big.
Work hard.